Are you looking to save on your cloud infrastructure costs? Atlantic.net can help with secure cloud services and HIPAA and PCI compliant hosting solutions. Deploy the latest AI and machine learning models on our high performance GPU computing platform at very affordable cost. Call 888-618-DATA or visit www.atlantic.net, an official server hosting platform of the San Jose Earthquakes. Atlantic.net, 30 years in business and still growing.
Hello, passionate Pulse listeners. Pradani here, your host. Are you a business owner looking to amplify your brand's reach? Or maybe you know an expert who deserves the mic? This is your moment. Advertise with us or recommend a fascinating guest for our podcast. Dial at 341-209-0102 and let's make your story roar. Passionate Pulse Podcast, where your tales ignite. Call us now at 341-209-0102. Let's champion the spirit of positive change together. Have you got a passion project that lights you up but needs some more insider tips to take it to the next level? Bootstrap Banter is your new go-to podcast. We are all about real talks and no fluff. Just actionable advice and inspiring stories from people like you who turn their passion into a thriving projects and then to startups. Whether you're just starting out or already on your way, we have got the strategies to help you push you through the roadblocks. In this series, you will hear real-world strategies to grow without burning out or breaking the bank. Honest, no-nonsense advices to help you level up your passion project. Whether it's marketing, scaling, or just finding the right directions, we are here to help you thrive. Book your strategy session today. Go to passionatepulse.com and contact or just buzz us on WhatsApp or text us on 341-209-0102. That's passionatepulse.com, one-stop shop for your bootstrap banter. You know what's wild? In some communities, sharing your startup struggle is seen as absolutely brave, especially in West. But in East and other cultures, it's seen as shameful. And that's why building in public isn't just about growth hacks, it's all about unlearning your silence. And when the founders, especially from the conservative cultures, share honestly, it's not just vulnerable, it is revolutionary. Welcome, Bootstrap Banters. Have you ever held back yourself from sharing your journey online? And no, not because you don't want to, but your voice inside you is telling you something different. What will people think? Because maybe talking about money felt little bragging, sharing a failure felt like a shame, and being transparent feels too exposed. Well, you're not alone. Today, that is the topic on a Bootstrap Banter episode. Namaskar, welcome. Welcome to the Passionate Pulse podcast, Bootstrap Banter series. In this Bootstrap Banter series, I share all the insights that I am actually implementing in my current startup, tips that I'm learning, tips that I'm implementing. Those are the same tips I'm actually sharing on this particular Bootstrap Banter episode with all of you. So today we are going to dwell into, or rather, deep dive into how do we really build in public and what is it really about, and what are some of the stigma points that we really come from and how we should be avoiding that. So that's the topic, my dear friends, and let me know how you are looking at this episode. Make sure you listen to this whole episode. If you're someone who is listening to this particular episode on the Silicon Valley Sapphire Radio and you don't know where to tune in next to listen to the whole episode, well, Passionate Pulse podcast is available in all the podcasting mediums, including YouTube, to all your Apple, Spotify, Amazon Music, and you name the podcast medium where you're tuning from your phone. If you're a passion pioneer, you're looking forward to start your journey, whether it's a tech startup, non-tech startup, or any passion project that you're looking to deep dive in, and you want to know how you should be building your audience, how you should be building your community, how you should be finding your first customer, or even to the first investor, how we are planning to pitch. I think all that you will learn in this particular episode. Let's deep dive to build in public. So the good, the bad, and oh my God, did I just do that kind of a moments? The roller coaster moments that one can see it on your Insta or Facebook pictures, especially when you do some of the adventure rides that you might have captured one day or the other before you get into that ride. absolutely when you do and after you have done it. So the whole emotional segment is what you tap into through your phone and pictures. At the end of the day, when you capture together all the moments and how your Insta reels look like, is the same thing what you're gonna do when you're building in public. Many a times we have hold a lot of fears, especially in public. What if is a big element that comes into our life, and that's a big monster that holds us from capturing many of the aha moments that sometimes we overlook, and also many a times we forget in the long journey. So, my dear friends, building in public is nothing short of but building your own legacy for yourself and for others who are having the similar struggles as you, who might find it inspirational, motivational, and at the same time, building your business, building your passion project, revealing many important key things either through your LinkedIn post, either through your X tweets, or either through your podcasting, YouTube, whatever it is, whichever medium you choose to resonate with. I think that medium is going to help you document your journey for future of you to applaud. For some of you who are presenting and resonating that journey will become inspiring too. And I think it is all about that. You'll see many founders tweeting their revenue goals, sharing how they really hit or miss even their monthly revenues. And you must have heard them talk about their pivots, their burnouts, their bouncing back, and how they're actually perceiving their own venture, whether it's through failures, whether it's through success moments, whether it's through milestones that should be celebrated. I think when we start opening, or when we do this kind of narratives, the one and the most important thing that I have learned from my own LinkedIn sharing journey is the moment we start crafting or start writing or start tweeting about it, I think we get disassociate with that in or owning moment, and we start reflecting in a way that some of your advisors, some of your friends and families can talk to you. So that's the most important benefit that I see as and when I'm drafting my journey, as and when few things, a few posts I'm creating. Yes, it is bold. Yes, you do expose your vulnerability, but it is also powerful because building something publicly also builds trust. You kind of gain organic supporters for whatever that you're building. The moment you feel vulnerable, the moment you start sharing your failures, I think your support groups comes forward, and they help you. They give you a lot of wisdom pearls that you probably are not sure whether you'll get it or no. Many of them, for sure, whoever have built, have gone through similar roller coaster moments. Maybe not exact specifics, but similar. And who knows, somebody can knock on your door to help you out. It is about attracting the right people for right time and getting your support, future customers, and also helping someone else exploring to similar triumphs, similar vulnerabilities, similar failures, and getting them ahead. Well, if not all of it, at least it shows your mission, your vision to the public, to the customers, to your potential users, that why are you building? Why are you investing your time, your money, bootstrap resources, and more or less your important family time that you are investing in the product that you're building? I think that mission and vision is what will set you apart from rest other who are building similar products, who are providing similar services, or whatever passion project with which you are very much invested in. So that's the core essence of it. Now let's just dwell into future things like how we should really do it, why it is not so simple, what we should be doing to break this kind of stigma. So let's get what's real. Because not everyone is encouraged to be transparent, right? It's many times the roots are in how we have grown up. What is our society that has, emphasized the messages to us? In Western cultures, especially in Western startup cultures in US, transparency becomes the most important aspect when you're building. And it is seen as courageous, brave, sometimes even call it as a cool culture. But is it the same as other parts of the world look at it? Maybe not. Like many of us are South Asian, Asian, even the Middle Eastern cultures, they feel this is not right. They feel that silence is what dignifies you. Privacy is what protects you. And opening up about money, oh my God, that's a bigger stigma that you can get attached to. That's either you're bragging too much or you're silently exposing yourself or inviting yourself to that evil eye, which is absolutely deep rooted in the fear of judgment in our cultures. I mean, we can't really change what has held back, what the perception has shaped in the cultures, but what we can really break today is if you're someone who are building and absolutely coming across bold in your own fields, that might help you in the long run. From families, from community, from that invisible circle of what people will stay. If you try to break that, I think there is absolutely a big support group that lies. What we always say is if you cross the fear, if you cross the river of fear, there is something absolutely magical waiting for you. So that's what we are doing. We are breaking this stigma and we are going ahead, we are marching ahead. Let's not forget that the entrepreneurship itself isn't always celebrated in the cultures. And it's often viewed as risky, unstable, or even irresponsible to sometimes. And sharing failures on top of it, what you're building, it's shameful. But for many, building in public, it just doesn't feel scary. It's like breaking that cultural contract. Breaking that cultural contract will set you at par. The way you look at your entrepreneurship, building your products, building your whatever projects that you are at. If you look at that very cautiously, it's a journey in itself. And you're just sharing the journey along the way. If you yourself is not too much attached with the results that you're planning to get, I think then it will become much easier. And building a product, whatever, as a founder, you must have noticed that the result is absolutely is not in your hands. And it can come, it can reach within whatever that you're forecasting, or it can even be a failure thing. And that is what the entrepreneurship is all about. And you're just talking about it. That is what I look at when I am sharing any of my passionpreneur journey through LinkedIn, through other social media handles that I own. So that is all about breaking your cultural contracts means. Now let's get real about, what really the emotionally it holds to you and what staying silent will really mean when you're building something, when there is a absolutely mission that you're driven with. Let's be gentle about ourselves. If you're someone who is a first gen founder, in your whole family, business itself is a taboo. And especially if you're an immigrant and you're hustling in this new world and a new land, there are so many challenges and a pressure that come across. Many a times we're absolutely soaked into that pressure of, being sorted, being that so called intelligent or so called, appearing clever kind of a journey. I think let's just drop these balls. What happens if you don't really have to be attached with all these labels? There is always a little room for error. Let's say it, we are humans and it is possible. Many big founders who have achieved the $1 billion revenues or have created the unicorns, they are absolutely embracing their failures. Even scientists, they are telling the truth behind the failures. If there were no failures, how they could have experimented something more that they have not imagined. So failures is the part of that journey and you're just sharing that. Being vulnerable is a part of being human. We are not AI robots who would absolutely work on the clocks, who will work on the right success metrics blocks that are supposed to give you definite results. So let's be real on this. No one tells us that it is okay to carry certain burden and expose that. Many a times we overcomplicate situations by staying silent and making that silent success as a theater. It's not worth it. Let's curtain off all those things, find out and see curated wins, polished smiles, your tucked away tears look good in front of camera, or at least we perceive that. But we don't connect to that. We always connect to something real, something genuine, something, authentic. So it's an authentic will. We are living in a wisdom economy. We are living in an era where many of us are side hustling. We're trying something. We're trying to build something, especially when there is a vision in the path, when there is a mission in your hand. So, in that moment, if you feel like you need to be gathering your community, you need to have supporters, you need to get some help on your way, unless you share what's real, what's happening with you, how you're doing it, how those extended hands are going to come on your way. Think about it for a moment, pause on it, and see whether it's a time for you to reflect. If it is, then start opening up. Maybe not all the way you could open at one go, but maybe sharing your small step can help you. Just drop off that emotional weight of staying silent all the time and just start opening up. I think the world is beautiful not because it's, all curated well or something. It's all because it's a small steps, and it's a journey in itself to blossom up. So look at it as a garden, how it goes from seed to small plants, then, growing the crops, and then from there on becoming the tree. It's the same journey you're showing up. And, you know, we don't have to really have the curve milestones of 5 years down the line, you should be hitting this block or whatever. But I think that can hit in 2 years, or that can hit in 10 years, who knows? But sharing along the way for sure can give you more encouragement, more nourishment, and sometimes also it can uplift someone else who is actually falling but getting some tips from you, from your journey, saying like what works, what doesn't work. I think that's where it starts getting real and it starts helping others. Or if you're someone who is really a shy person and don't know how to how sharing something can inspire others, leave that alone. Just start documenting for yourself. Make some things public which is you feel is absolutely necessary, and many of them must have gone through the similar boat. Just a quick validation how you should do if you're really a social shy person, how you should be really sharing that along the way. I think the best way is ask your inner circle friends, maybe small WhatsApp groups, or maybe small communities or the Discord communities that you have been, and ask them, do you think I should be sharing this openly on my X profile, openly on my LinkedIn profile, or whatever social media that you're tuning in? If you get a validation and someone says, yes, absolutely, this is an important milestone of a journey that you are on, or maybe it's a part of that entrepreneurship that you have chosen, don't ask people that are not in a journey of entrepreneurship, because many a times they may not even relate to what's happening. Maybe you can absolutely ask someone who is one step behind you and struggling. Ask them, and what they will say is a real validation, I feel. People above you, people like you may not have the same perspective, but then the people behind you for sure will find it helpful. So think from their perspective and start sharing it. I think it will help. So breaking the stigma is what you should do. Maybe one story at a time you should start sharing. That's the beautiful part of it. Some brave founders are changing that nowadays. I'll share you a couple of example, maybe that will help you. And I want to share a few example who are having some imbibe culture in Asian roots or Middle Eastern root, or even the stigma that the culture holds, a very conservative cultures for whom sharing everything in public, especially about the finance, is a taboo. Let's dwell into those examples and hear out how they have benefited. Maybe that can boost your energy a little bit. Peter Levels, I think I've narrated his example many a times in my Bootstrap Banter previous episodes. If you haven't heard previous Bootstrap Banter episodes, just tap into any podcasting medium where you listen to the podcast and go to the Passionate Pulse podcast and listen to my prior Bootstrap Banter episodes, especially how to build as a passionpreneur, or how to validate ideas publicly, or those kind of episodes. That's where many examples are lying in. So Peter Levels, he's actually a part of a Dutch and part of an Indonesian. His origin is Indonesian, although he grew up in the Dutch part of the world. And he built the nomad list or the remote first entirely in public over the X, only sharing his revenues was not the part that he did. He openly shared his failures, he openly shared his experiments, and even the monthly revenue of 500K and more. So his honesty really helped him, being an indie markers from conservative cultures feel seen. In fact, he gathered more customers by sharing what he was doing. He gathered much of an interest list of what he was building in, and people were like really curious in trying out his products. And of course, that feedback loop that he had kept open that made his products more tightened, more secure, more perfect. Let's get into some more examples. Maybe the Sharat Kurungdi. I think he is another person which I could say coming from an India and talking about his failures openly. He shared his startup roller coaster on X, inspiring the whole wave of creators. And then the big boss that I could say, the Karthik Puwada, KP is known as KP. He absolutely made his vulnerability as a superpower. I follow him, and he got a lot of revolution in me after reading his story, what he was doing. And that's how I can say this Bootstrap Banter today's episode has even shaped up. He has given me a lot of courage. I am also a little bit of a shy person. Like, how do I share my vulnerability on the social media, especially what I'm building? Coming from a culture where you should be sharing your success the most, hiding your finance part, also not talking about your failures so vividly was a taboo for me as well. But after listening to many of these stories, looking at how these journeys have shaped up, and this Bootstrap Banter where I decided to take up a challenge that whatever that I learn I'll share. And also because of this I kind of have reshaped myself in many a sense. I think Karthik Puada, I give a lot of credit to him. He shared his even the lowest points so publicly. He showed us that the real growth often starts where the ego ends. And that's how I look at when you start sharing publicly what is going wrong, what is not, and you help inspire others, also give them push that they absolutely need to hear from someone which is real. People who are listening to these successful people, many a times for them it feels like a dream. But when they see along the journey, when they see that someone is, going through the same struggles as them, I think it becomes real, and it kind of helps them. The other part is also, welcoming that helping hand to you. I think like people far ahead of you are absolutely looking forward to, get that elevation for someone else who is looking forward to. But unless we don't share that, how you're gonna get it? So that's the way you could look at it. The next, the Latin American founder that I like to mention is the Amanda Goetz. She's also coming from a very conservative and a religious background. In fact, the wellness brand that she built is also the taboo in itself. If you just go ahead and look at what she built, I think those kind of product itself as taboo to talk about. She openly talk about her divorce. She openly talk about the mental health. She openly talk about the cannabis and topics that you may be shy away from. She talk about the post-divorce sex life, the tools and the techniques and so many things. I mean, I think they absolutely shy away things, but look at from the angle of someone who is actually needing it, and those struggles were real. The products that they were looking forward to were more of a personalized angle, so she had to talk about it. And she broke a lot of taboo in the cultures, even in the West, to that matter. So a lot of credit that we should give to that founder. And of course, she made the great revenue out of those products because she was openly talking about the taboo subjects and the products that she's building, and getting the feedback from the people who are actually looking forward to try them out. I mean, so many benefits that I think, like, she herself is a change maker in the journey that she actually unfolded. The other example that I can give you probably is of Sahil Lavingia. He's also an Indian American founder of Gumroad. He also shared his successes through his post, also the failures. In fact, the more important thing that is very noticeable to me, and what he talked about is also a taboo to many successful founders even today, is the team changes that he did, the layoffs that he had to do, and even his burnout as a founder. I think that was not the weakness that he revealed, but it's the real leadership that he was opening up, and that is what the behind scene is all about when you're building something. So he openly did that, and I think that became the norm. Then sometimes you have to take some stringent decisions just in point of time, which are real, but that's what he did. And I think this is something is helpful to many founders who are going through that dilemma, who are even not sure about how should they embrace that kind of vulnerability, or how should they take certain decisions which are just in point feels right. So I think I summarized a lot on why it matters today, especially when you are a solopreneur, you are having a micro startup in you, you're side hustlers, you're a change maker. What are these new paths to build a trust? It's absolutely essential to share first, then you will build a trust along the way. The networking happens along the way also, is what I have experienced as a part of that, sharing my journey along the way. So people don't just buy what you sell, is what I have realized. They buy into why and how you do that. Many a times the product is average, but your mission is strong, then people show a lot of interest what you're building with, and also give you a lot of supportive hands to improvise on the product. Yes, you fail, you pivot, but that's a part of that journey, right? That's a part of even analyzing the problems that you're planning to solve. So building in public doesn't really mean oversharing, it means sharing with an intention. If you hold that kind of an intention, then it's you are not going to do that just for likes, or getting public figure, or being like famous. I think you will build that for the legacy and for helping someone else. You will nourish that thread in someone else who is looking forward to it. So what are some of the actionable tips that I can give you for you as all my passion pioneers? How you get started without feeling so naked, so exposed online? Let me share you some of the tips that I am implementing right now as a passionpreneur. The first most is the start small, you know. Share your process, maybe not your profits until you're ready. Share some of the wins that you may get along the way. It's a simple win, maybe that you're gaining as a great connection, or someone has helped you out along the way. Just by over the coffee, somebody had shared you something important that you're planning to implement. Maybe share that. Maybe you want to share some idea that needs to get validated. Start building that. Maybe you don't want to share that so openly that you're a little fearful about, but maybe you just make a generic post and ask for comments and get DMs, and say that you would like to talk about it more in depth, just DM about it. So maybe those are some of the steps that you could take, but be intentional in whatever that you're posting, what you really want to achieve out of it. It's not like just to create a noise. Just don't do it for the sake of being seen, or just that something needs to go out today, or whatever the frequency that you have defined in mind. Maybe share what is helping to others, or what is honoring your truth, or also some call to actions that you really looking forward to gather. Maybe you don't know some areas and you're looking forward for that help. Give a call out to that. Maybe you're someone who is looking forward for a job. How do you do that? I mean, Let me share a small example for professionals who are looking out for the job, and that's where I see that lot of stigma lies in. Let's consider a case that someone has just got laid off or has been looking forward for another job and laid off for more than couple of years now and still have not found a success. How they should be sharing this with an intentional topic, it is little bit of a weakness, it is little bit of a weak vulnerability approach, and it is also, saying that I've absolutely failed in spite of doing many trials, right? Let's not look at that way. What you could do is saying that it's been couple of years that I have absolutely not been able to find a simple job that I could honor it or I could enjoy it. Now I'm on a path to figure out what's next for me. But in this couple of years, whatever job situation has held me has given me a break that has refreshed me the most, that helped me to look what's next, what the future of the industry looks like, where I should be aligning myself, where I should be gaining new skills. And that's what I did in next last couple of years. Along the way while I was searching the job, now I know how to talk in interviews. Just share that journey. Now I know how to network. Share that journey. Maybe you have found some of the people that you follow and they have given you some great strength to look at the life the way it should be. Maybe talk about that. I think all of it is required. And when the problem gets more personal, it becomes more public actually, and it is the global. The local is something absolutely contributes to the global. So think about it and be intentional about it. You need not have to attract everything from the vulnerability point of view. You need not have to approach and create something from the weakness angle, but can you look at that weakness as a success matrix? Can you look at it in a different shape and forms, and can you present that? I think that's doable. For a passion project also, if something is failing, it's okay to fail. You can openly mention. I would like to mention some of the success points, some of the trigger points, and maybe you're not ready at this point of time, but tomorrow when you get ready, it's time to share. I think sharing about the past experiences is way easier than sharing about your present experiences. And that's something that I'm talking to you from what I have, analyzed about myself, where I'm most easy on myself sharing my journey. So building in public can also mean that sharing some of your past experiences if you're not ready to share something of your present. So document with purpose. Maybe one day when your journey will be someone else's survival guide, that time all these things can become even more meaningful. So think about it that you're creating as a survival guide to someone who might walk into your shoe one day. And that's what I have the most to talk about when someone is building in public. So, what I am doing right now, that's the most important part I like to touch. So, I'm building out a product right now and I'm evaluating that product, whether it's fit for the market, which industry I should be, focusing, where my niche should lie upon. I mean, even can I build a pitch around it to attract investors? Can I even network with like minded people and see whether this idea is doable? Or can I ask someone that how they find, have they find their founding team, or are they building initial MVP with some of the consultancies that they can get with? So those are all the questions that I have. And now I have decided, like, as I go along the way, I'm planning to ask this question openly on the LinkedIn and see what responses I get. Whether a lot of people vote for consultancy, a lot of people vote for absolutely building your team, especially when you're bootstrapping. Or is it the time to build the investments, or is it the time to go and reach out to investors? Are there any early stage investors who can buy into your idea when you don't have a team? Are there any investors who can buy into your idea when we are building it solo? I think sharing all that publicly becomes real because the questions that I have are the questions that many other founders are looking forward to solve it, but they're just not courageous, or they're just not little bit bold enough to take that step. So that's what I'm planning to do for myself and see, where it aligns, where it fits. The other thing that I'm planning to do is, clearly open the sponsorship calls for the podcast that I am to building. Most of my guests who are coming are the change makers in themselves. I can't ask money from them because they are the ones who have done something great for the society, and asking for money means a promotion, and I don't want that to lose the authenticity in what they're building. So instead, can I have sponsors with whom I can, share the platform, give them the most visible platform for advertising their products, advertising their services, and also aligning to my vision and mission, saying that, oh, these bootstrap banters, we are absolutely aligned with. Passionate Pulse podcast, we are absolutely aligned with. And they feel proud about it. So those are the sponsors, are my first sponsors that I want to. And I want to mention that kind of a journey along the way when I'm building public. Many podcasters are still struggling about it, and building that in public can get real. Well, other thing that I must share along the way is when I absolutely open about this on one of the coffee meeting with someone that was, asking about how you are into podcasting, how your podcast episodes are getting here on Silicon Valley Safari Radio, and like that's like heart of the Bay Area where, many founders, many VCs, the bigger economy in the world is, sharing. And that's where, I opened up. Yes, I'm doing everything bootstrap currently, and I am looking forward to raise money for it, maybe advertisers or sponsors. And that's when, my dear friends, my first sponsor walked in. Atlantic.net. Absolutely kudos to them. Atlantic.net walked into my life saying that we appreciate what you do. We are really resonating with your journey because we are also someone who absolutely bootstrap our business for a long, long years. It's almost been 2 decades now, and we are bootstrapping even now. We have not raised a single dime from outside, so we understand what it takes when somebody is bootstrapping. So now we are walking into others' shoes as an angel investors, angels to support their journey, and we are absolutely open for advertising slots where you would like to advertise our product. They are the cloud hosting platforms, my dear friend, and they have the affordable cloud services for a lot of startup founders who are looking to build something very meaningful. They own almost 7 data centers spanning Canada, US, London, Singapore, different locations. That something is even more amazing. So if you're someone who is looking forward for, the affordable cloud services, finding out, what will work and which will save you the most, I think you should definitely try out the Atlantic.net cloud hosting solution. If you don't know where to reach out to them, go to passionatepulse.com and you will find it on a homepage, our supporter Atlantic.net, and just click on that link. You'll get onto the Atlantic.net, and then, you can figure out whether those are the solutions that you want to avail. I must tell you this, that Atlantic.net is a very widely adopted solution, especially in US right now. Even San Jose Earthquakes, the soccer team, their whole database, their whole online things, even the streaming platform and lot of things are hosted on Atlantic.net crowd. It's a very secure PCI and HIPAA compliant solution, and many big industries are absolutely, embracing Atlantic.net cloud solution. So that is what can happen with building in public. I got the sponsorship that can cover some of my podcasting platform expenses, and I'm very happy about it. So, building in public absolutely means inviting many, many cheerful hands for your journey. If you are someone who is looking forward to bring that, get that cheerful support, I think you should build in public. Just shred away your skin and just see what is there. As I said in the beginning, if you cross the river of fear, there is absolutely magical and stunning experience that is waiting for you. So just take a plunge, just march forward and see if you can start sharing small. You must have come from a very taboo culture. It's okay to do that. It's okay to have that. but at the same time you are also someone right now which is a who is a global citizen. There are so many mediums nowadays talk about failures, embrace those failures. So I think sharing your vulnerabilities, your learning along the way also helps all the other people. And as we look at this side hustling economy or the wisdom economy, today, the world is shaping up with your knowledge and how you want to encash it. So the wisdom economy is booming because lot of people are sharing their wisdom. Who knows, your today's journey can become mentor to someone or can stand as a absolutely a great leadership example. Even Elon Musk, he has shared his several journey about building Tesla, building SpaceX, and even now whatever that he's doing, whether it's a political world, whether it's a technological world, or whether it's some of the stringent decisions that he's enforcing in his office or in his different ventures. He's publicly sharing it and basically sharing his vision behind it. So there is nothing that you should be holding to yourself. It's okay to go public, it's okay to share along the way, and it is also okay to share that different angle that you are looking the world as. And everybody has different lenses to look at it. So how you are looking at building public, let me know. I would like to know a small experiment that you are planning to do in your own venture or building in public kind of a philosophy. Do write it to me at pranali@passionatepulse.com, or just simply call on 341-209-0102 and let me know what are you up to, or maybe just text us, that what are you up to, which experiment you are planning to do after listening to this episode. Maybe are you looking out to start small post, which medium you are looking to be available, or share your journey along the way. What meaningful insights that you have found from this episode, that also I'm eager to listen to, because sometimes I feel I'm sharing little bit of a bold concepts which are bold in a way, but we need to hear it as in the conversational way and saying that, oh, I am implementing and I am becoming one of them, although I was not. And you need that little bit of a push, or you need little bit of a support, coming from west, coming from east, coming from any part of the globe right now. And if you are someone who is tuned in and have gained this kind of a value, I'm really looking forward to hear from you. So, my dear friends, this is what the building in public means. It's not about your ego, it's all about the impact. If you remember that, I think you'll let loose a lot of strings that you have hold on to. Also, especially, for those of us coming from this culture where the silence was a survival in a many, many years, I think every truth we share is a light for someone that who is still stuck in the dark. So here is to showing up not just when it's perfect, but it's when it's human, you know, even when it's messy, scary, no matter what, it is deeply human, is what you should remember. The more we share, the more we grow together. The more you invite the hands that you look forward to, the more, it becomes, it also helps you in a long run, I feel. The way I said it, the moment I start sharing, I think the more objectively I started looking at certain subjects, the more objectively I started taking decisions. Even lately, the small experiment, if I have to, narrate and close this particular episode, I am looking forward for the video editors, great video editors who can help my operational cycle become smooth. Until couple of months back, I was doing everything by myself. And what I realized, it's not worth it if I'm looking to scale up. I am telling people, hire help, take help, and I was the one who was not taking the help. So then I decided that now onwards I'll be doing that, and my job is to find the right fit who are aligned with my vision and mission, who can help me getting the videos edited the most and in a much efficient way. So I decided to open a call on LinkedIn, and also in my inner circle I circulated that this is a job position that I've opened and I'm looking forward for people who are aligned with my vision and mission. And since I'm bootstrapping, I'm on my budget. So I made this open call. Of course, I couldn't reveal the numbers because I'm also kind of, figuring out what are the right numbers to settle upon. But the fact that I did, and I'm looking for the quality people, the hungry people, and of course the creative heads for my team to be hired. I opened the call, I set up the process exactly the way I should have set up for my product building journey in the tech way. So I absolutely laid out that process, and I'm being very transparent with all the candidates that are coming. People who are pinging me through the reference, I'm absolutely directing them to the job position and asking them that the application is must. And based on the merit, I'm looking forward to hire. Today, I just completed my first round of that application filtration, and from there, whatever criteria that I had defined and had openly listed in the job position, I have been very, very truthful to that criteria and have selected the applications. As a part of it, the next round, I emailed those filter candidates, and I'm actually sharing with them that I absolutely love your work, what you have shared with us, and we feel that you are ready to move next. But we would like to know your proposals. This is the type of a work that we are interested in getting done. If you are someone who think that this kind of work you will enjoy as a passionpreneur, then do give us a reply and share with us why you would like to work with the Passionate Pulse podcast. What is the vision with which you are aligning, and why you would like to work with us in a budget mode, and why you're ready to give your time for this kind of a project. What are your learnings? Whatever that you feel like, just share it with us. And after that, after evaluating the proposal and finding out how disciplined they are in writing the proposals, how creative they are in showing up to something that is on budget, is what I'm looking forward to. And I don't know how I'm going to make the decisions forward, but for sure I am looking out for something that's real, and I'm building this in public. After giving out a call, I realized there were many local candidates who are hungry to make something. There are even wonderful film fraternity students who are looking forward for such internship, and they came across and they give me the the positive responses, and they are really ready to put the efforts. In fact, someday or the other, I'm also going to share this failure journey, where in the past what sort of experiments I did and trying to build up the team, and how I have absolutely failed. I'm planning to share all those openly on my LinkedIn post. So if you're someone who is not following me on LinkedIn and don't know where she's sharing, follow me on LinkedIn, Pranali Ubale. You'll find that only profile coming from SF Bay Area, United States. And you should be, tuning into my articles, which I write, Breaking the Glass Ceiling. That's the article where I shared it. In fact, I am also writing on Substack, and I'll be sharing all those handles in description. That I'm starting a new blog post there where I'll be sharing how I'm building in public, whether it's my podcast journey that I'm building or whether it's my product journey that I'm building. I'm planning to be as open as I can, and I'm also pushing myself to the cliff, to be very honest, to share all these experiments without without holding any fears. I think there is what worst that can happen is what I'm thinking. And with that energy, I have decided to take a plunge and move forward. Let's see what goes next. So, if you are someone who is listening to the Bootstrap Banter episode for the first time, whether it's through radio or whether it's through podcast, do make sure that you subscribe to our YouTube or any of the podcast mediums that you listen to, Passionate Pulse Podcast. We do have couple of podcasts, one with the guest that is called as Passionate Pulse Podcast, and the one where we share or we address to passion pioneers and the startup founders through the Bootstrap Banter. So the Bootstrap Banter is which is very close to me. It's absolutely documenting my own journey through my podcast, and also the same Bootstrap Banter I am implementing actually in my own ventures. That's the journey. So it holds a very, very close place to my mind, my heart, and even to my life today. It's my second baby in the podcasting. That's what I call it. If you're someone who is looking forward to build out of passion and you have a purpose in your mind, you must tune into Passionate Pulse podcast. You must subscribe to, because your subscription shows me that how much you love what I do and how much it is valuable to you. If you feel like, oh, I don't really like your work, and you are someone who needs to get a lot of improvisation in your work, oh, please share them on my way. My email to send your responses is pranali at passionatepulse.com, or just text us or WhatsApp on 341-209-0102. And I'm here to, hear your feedback. Also, I like to know, what's next. What would you like to, hear next? Whether you are someone building out something from your passion, whether you're someone who needs some of the tips to build something that is meaningful, what is that the next that you would like to hear from us as a part of the Bootstrap Banter? I'm all open to listen to your viewpoints, your opinions, your criticism, and looking forward to improvise and get this Bootstrap Banter really a bootstrap project for all of us to go forward to. So let me know how this episode has turned out without fail, either through emails, either by liking the podcast, on going on the actual mediums of the subscription. So let's build together. If you are someone who is looking to build whatever that you drive with the passion, let's build together. I'm here to support you. If you are someone who is writing on LinkedIn, do mention my name, or do tag me in your post that after listening to Bootstrap Banter or the Passionate Pulse podcast, saying that Pranali Ubale, whoever has, send you across these wisdom pearls, I'm following those footsteps, or I'm following these examples and getting ahead. Maybe you want to share thanks to me. I'm happy to, get that compliment. And I'll be the first one to support your post in that case. Just tag me around, and I'm looking and I'm watching and I'm vouching for your journey. So, what's next? Let's champion each other's journey, build something impactful, of course, with the purpose and the resilience that comes as a part and parcel of this journey. What's next? So now after this building in public, which is the next podcast episode that I'll be doing? Well, the next week I'm talking something which is very close to my heart as a passionpreneur, whether wait or with votes. What is the long term marathon that you should opt for, especially when you're building your passion projects, especially when you're building startups, and especially when you're bootstrapping? So that's the next episode, my dear friends, that I'm planning to evolve with. What would you like to hear next other than this? Stay tuned, stay passionate.
Are you looking to save on your cloud infrastructure costs? Atlantic.net can help with secure cloud services and HIPAA and PCI compliant hosting solutions. Deploy the latest AI and machine learning models on our high performance GPU computing platform at very affordable cost. Call 888-618-DATA or visit www.atlantic.net, an official server hosting platform of the San Jose Earthquakes. Atlantic.net, 30 years in business and still growing.
Hello, Passionate Pulse listeners. Pranali here, your host. Are you a business owner looking to amplify your brand's reach? Or maybe you know an expert who deserves the mic? This is your moment. Advertise with us or recommend a fascinating guest for our podcast. Dial at 341-209-0102 and let's make your story roar. Passionate Pulse Podcast, where your tales ignite. Call us now at 341-209-0102. Let's champion the spirit of positive change together.